Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Noel Harrison. I'm one of the lecturers in the School of Engineering at NUI Galway, and I'm going to give you a quick talk about engineering at Galway and in general terms. And if you have particular questions or an interest in a specific discipline or category of engineering, then you can catch up with staff and students at our individual discipline stalls. That's stalls 60 to 65 on the open day. My apologies for the sound not working in the presentation earlier. I seem to have had an issue on my end, so my apologies for that. And for some reason, I could not see the comments until the end of the presentation. So apologies for that. And here's the presentation again anyway. So I'm going to turn off my video for the rest of this presentation. A quick word on NUI Galway. Well, it is a big university. We've over 18,000 students on campus every year, and we are ranked in the top 1% of universities across the world, according to the international ranking tables. We have a fabulous campus. We've opened 16 new buildings since 2005, and that includes the Alice Perry Engineering Building, which is the home of the School of Engineering. And this is where you will come to start your career. Over 98% of our graduates are working or in further study as soon as they leave university or within the first 6 months, and we are very proud of that statistic. We also have the best academics, and 5 of our researchers are named as the top most highly cited researchers, or the most influential, if you like, in their field. And when it comes to engineering, well, we at NUI Galway, we know how to teach engineering. We've been teaching it for over 171 years, back when the university was called Queen's College Galway. The School of Engineering is within the College of Science and Engineering, and engineers and scientists work together all the time. And you might be wondering, well, what's the difference between science and engineering? Well, we like to think of this quote from a guy called Theodore van Karman, who was actually both. He was a scientist and an engineer. And he said that scientists discover the world that exists, so they study what's around them, they study phenomena and materials and all that, but engineers create the world that never was. So another way of looking So essentially, engineers take that understanding of science and maths and they add in design and analysis skills and they solve problems with it. So we are builders, inventors, and innovators, and we work indoors, outdoors, big and small teams, and in all sorts of different environments on land, sea, and in space. And we work with all sorts of different materials to design and make things that society needs. And that's a good way of distinguishing between the different types and the different categories of engineering. So for example, civil engineering, and that is the big engineering. They work with big infrastructure, big projects, and large construction and infrastructure. Electrical and electronic engineering deals with electrical, electronic, and computing, basically devices and software systems and power systems. Mechanical engineers deal with things that move, and that can be big or small, to do with transport, devices, power generation, and manufacturing, automation, and robotics. Biomedical engineering is related to that, but it focuses more on the living tissue and engineering for the human body with devices and implants. Energy systems engineering focuses on power generation, energy systems design and management. I mentioned that engineers are problem solvers, so we use our skills and our know-how to address the challenges that we're all facing. So there's a number of global challenges that have been recognized as major threats and problems and challenges for the human race as a species on this planet. If you take, for example, energy supply as a challenge, well, engineers, for example, energy systems engineering, is this particular category of engineering that focuses on the solving problems and solving energy critical problems, be that supply or consumption of energy and resources and raw materials. And they're analyzing how that energy supply needs changes across the world and also over time as our population ages. You're probably asking yourself, could you be an engineer, or is engineering for you? Well, one of the ways of answering that is to consider the following things. Are you interested in the way things work? That doesn't mean that you have to be walking around taking things apart or looking inside everything that you can get your hands on. But have you ever wondered why something operates the way it does, or why is it designed or shaped the way it is? Why is it made out of whatever material it's made out of? That's a kind of trait of an engineer that you might see. And second thing is, do you enjoy maths and science or the technical subjects in general? Unfortunately, we know that not everybody's experience of maths and science subjects are what we would like them to be in secondary school, and that could be for a whole load of different reasons. But what we would say is, as long as you don't hate any of the math subjects or science subjects, then you'll be fine in engineering. And we bring all our students in first year up to a common standard in maths and some science subjects. And then in the subsequent years, as you move through your degree, you will apply those maths skills to your individual disciplines, more advanced subjects. The next thing is, are you interested in technology, maybe in general, such as phones or buildings or infrastructure or large systems and piping and networks and so on, computers, transport, buildings, energy, medical devices, and software. Those kind of things are what engineers would deal with and work on typically. And do you want to be just an end user of such technology, or do you want to be involved in developing the next generation versions of each of these types of technologies and plenty of others? Then again, that they're good indicators that engineering is for you. And finally, the engineering career and the engineering profession is a very solid and sound career in that there are plenty of jobs and there is always a consistent demand for engineering graduates, and we have a very high employment rate of our graduates from engineering at NUI Galway, so we're very proud of that. So in order to join us in engineering, you will need to meet the points that are set for the course each year and have the following subjects from your Leaving Cert and grades from your Leaving Cert. The big one there is the H4 in Leaving Cert Maths. So if you have the points for the course, but not the H4 Maths, then it's not the end of the world. We do have a special entrance Maths exam, and that Maths exam will take place in those couple of days between when your Leaving Cert results come out and the CEO points come out. And that is at the end of a short course that's put on by our School of Engineering, just to recap and kind of refresh you on some of the basics in Leaving Cert Maths, and then we examine you at the end of that. So if you pass that exam and have the points, you may be offered a place in your course, in your chosen course. So why would you come to NUI Galway? Well, our student experience is very good. It's a mixture of lectures, like you see up here, and in big classes and small classes in first year. All of engineers are taught together, so you're typically in a big classroom. And as you progress through your years, then you'll find your class getting smaller, and as you take more specialized subjects, then the number of students in the classes will reduce as well. You will be quite active in our laboratories, performing tests and experiments and measurements and some fieldwork activities and project work as well. An example of the project work is the Geek, where you can find more information on it at thegeek.ie, and that's a recurring undergraduate student-led project where students from various engineering disciplines, mechanical, electrical, electronic, and energy systems, work each year on designing, building, testing, and racing a super energy efficient car, and they race that internationally against other university teams from all around the world. And a year or two ago at NUI Galway, the NUI Galway team won the award for technical innovation. The entry routes for engineering at NUI Galway is as follows. You can enter directly by selecting the CAO course code for biomedical, mechanical, the two electrical and electronic courses, civil or energy systems engineering, or project and construction management. But regardless of what course you select, all first years are taught the same thing, so you get a flavour of everything. If you really did not know what category of engineering you can go for, then we do have an undenominated engineering option, and that is just for first year. At the end of first year, you need to select your chosen discipline for when you go into second year. There's an important change for that this year, and that is that you need to have obtained the points for your chosen discipline in your Leaving Cert at the year of entry. So if you for example, at the end of first year, if you want to select energy systems engineering, for example, then you need to have achieved the points that were for direct entry into energy systems engineering that year as well. So at the end of first year, as I said, undenominated will pick their discipline for progression into second year and through to their degree and masters. So second year, we will find the classes will get a little bit smaller and the subjects a little bit more specialized. Same in third year, and into fourth year then, by the end of fourth year, students will have achieved a degree in their chosen discipline. Halfway through fourth year, students will go on placement. So the fourth year is quite a short year. Students will be on campus from September to December, and then from January until the following August. For those 8 months, students will be on placement. Then they come back onto campus for one last year, and that's their master's year. So at the end of those 5 years, students will have achieved a master's and degree in master's and bachelor's degree in their chosen discipline. It is possible to leave after the 4 years, and we ask students what will they be doing, staying for the 5 years or leaving after 4 years. We ask them that in third year. If you're leaving after 4 years with just the degree, students will take an alternative version of PEP in third year, and then come back and do fourth year and finish after that fourth year. However, the norm and the default is that students will stay for 5 years, and the reason for that is that the internationally recognized standard for an engineering qualification is now a master's in engineering, and to become a chartered engineer, you need to have a master's and a master's degree in engineering to meet the educational requirements. So that's why the engineering is now a 5-year integrated BE and ME program. We also have project and construction management, as I said, which isn't an accredited degree, but it's a course delivered within civil engineering. And likewise, you can go from undenominated engineering into project and construction management as well. So the kind of subjects you'll be studying are specifically designed to meet what Engineers Ireland tell us our graduates need to know and need to have experience in. So Engineers Ireland are the engineering accreditation body in Ireland, and they have defined what it takes to be an engineer. So it's up to us then as the educators in university to design our subjects and design our courses so that students have obtained all these skills, and we progress and kind of change the emphasis on these individual skills and requirements as the students progress through the year. So first year, for example, is heavily focused on the fundamental knowledge and understanding. And as the students progress through second year, third year, fourth year, the focus on the fundamentals reduces and it becomes more focused on the application to solve and to analyze engineering problems. We also get students working on designing systems and also conducting tests and experiments, and inform students of the ethical responsibilities that engineers have towards people and society and the environment, and develop skills for engineers to work on their own to deliver an engineering project and to work in teams to deliver an engineering project. And fundamentally communication skills as well, so that students can communicate their findings, communicate their outcomes and their project essentially. Both to fellow professionals and to society at large. So this is an example of how that core skills are developed through mechanical engineering, but all our engineering programs are accredited and they all follow similar routes. So the subjects that you take are specifically in there for a reason, and the way in which it's delivered and the requirement, whether it be exams or project work or continuous assessments, they're there specifically to develop one of these core skills that are needed for you to be a successful engineer. So I mentioned our work placements. In the halfway through fourth year, our students will go out on placement and they will work in any of these companies and a whole lot more. This is just a very short flavor, and we do placements in NUI Galway very, very well. We are one of the few universities who resource placements specifically. So we have dedicated staff who find and match our students up with industry, and we have more demand from industry than we can supply students. So our students, generally speaking, get a good choice of engineering placement experiences. When students are working in these companies, they're working as a junior engineer or as an intern, working with engineers, reporting to engineers, and getting to apply some of the subjects and the knowledge that they have learnt up until that date and see what that work looks like in industry. And they develop some transferable skills, some applied skills around project management, for example, or regulatory affairs in their chosen engineering industry. And what we find then is when students come back to us for their fifth year, they will bring back some of that professionalism with them. And they're a different type of student when they come back from industry, and they can apply themselves and manage themselves a little bit differently than how they would have done that before they went on placement. So if you want to find out more information and get some testimonials to see each of our engineering programs, you can find students that have recorded a short video while they're on placement, and you can go onto our discipline websites or any Galway website, and you'll see these videos, or contact any of the chosen disciplines stalls at the open day. We'd be more than happy to provide you more information on that. So Open Days is an important opportunity for us to tell you a little bit about women in engineering. Unfortunately, some schools don't promote engineering, and we find it difficult to get our message across into some secondary schools. Some girls' schools, for example, cannot prioritize engineering as a career option. So it's important that everyone understands that engineering is a very good career path for males and females, boys and girls. It's a very good progression, and the requirements and the experiences that you have makes no difference to whether you are male or female. We have a huge number of very successful female and male graduates from engineering who are making real impact in industry and in policy making based on their engineering qualifications and career. The core requirements are the same, and unfortunately, there is sometimes those barriers to getting a clear opportunity and a clear message around the opportunity for engineering out to girls. So if you want any more information on that, please go to nuigalway.ie/women in engineering. Example of a couple of our graduates across the different disciplines, and they can go on to work in large industry, or as I said, be innovative and develop their own companies, their own spin-out startup companies. And we are quite proud. We do try to keep in contact with our graduates when they leave here, and that's important for them too, because they, for example, start looking to us for supplying the next graduates, and they're the next employees and hires that their companies will take. So here's an example of where some of our graduates end up in and work in companies big and small, and national and international and local startup. This is our engineering building. This is the Alice Perry Engineering Building. Our open days are normally very busy days in this building, where we can show you the building, show you the lecture halls, show you our labs and so on. Unfortunately, we can't do that today, but you will find more information on the building and some other pictures on our various discipline websites and videos and channels and so on. It's a state-of-the-art dedicated engineering building. It brings all of our engineering disciplines together, and some fantastic teaching and laboratory facilities in this on the campus for us. That is engineering at NUI Galway. And if you have any questions, you can join us on any of our stalls from 60 to 65, where you can meet staff and students from any of our disciplines of engineering. Thank you for watching this video, and we do hope you come and join us at NUI Galway to study engineering, and enjoy the rest of your open day. Thank you.